Hey listeners, let's talk about revolutionizing your mining operation with Foreman. This isn't your average management tool. It's an all-in-one solution for reducing costs and significantly boosting your revenue. Foreman brings a cutting-edge dashboard to your fingertips, empowering you with automated energy strategies. This means not only curtailing around real-time prices, but also strategically enhancing your profit margins through demand response. It's about leveraging energy efficiency to its fullest potential. With Foreman, you get a system that scales with your business, inventory management for assets, infrastructure integration, and business intelligence. Foreman elevates the cash flow and production of your entire operation. To see how Foreman can redefine your mining operation standards, visit foreman.mn. With Foreman, you're not just managing a mining operation, you're setting a new standard in the industry.
Accelerated by Compass is the premier accelerator program for Bitcoin mining sites at any stage of development. Our managed services provide expert guidance in site procurement, construction, energy agreements, and mining operations. Compass helps clients meet timelines and expectations for operational excellence, from greenfield to retrofits and everything in between. Don't just mine, excel. Visit compassmining.io now to discover how Accelerated by Compass can power your success.
Are you a retail or institutional investor interested in Bitcoin mining companies? The Miner Mag brings you free data and analysis from all major NASDAQ-listed Bitcoin mining operations to know who stands out. Check out visualized metrics and data-dependent stories at theminermag.com. Hey, welcome back to the Mining Pod. We have a really interesting show today, talking about Dogecoin and Litecoin. That's not something we typically do on the show, but we definitely wanted to have these guys on to talk about a new ASIC they're manufacturing that's AlphaPex. Wow, I really butchered that. ElphaPex, sorry. It's ElphaPex from Foundation Logic. Ben and Payne, welcome to the show. How are you guys doing today?
Great.
Thanks for having us, Will.
Cool. Well, let's just dive right into it. I think the interesting thing for Bitcoin miners here is like diversifying revenue and saying like, okay, there's like different ASICs we can purchase and we can take a look at these and say like these might be another stream of revenue. I think for people who are just interested in Dogecoin in general, like for whatever reason, people who are into Dogecoin really like the idea of mining it as well. So there's that. And then of course, there's like this small Litecoin mafia that exists online. And I've definitely had like a lot of Twitter fights with them. So they'll probably please be talking about this as well. Let's go right to you guys and just kind of get the bio and then talk about the company as well. So Ben, I'll throw it to you first and then over to Payne. Ben, can you tell us a little bit about like your bio and then let's go into the company after that?
Yeah, so my name is Ben, and I am in the San Francisco Bay Area. So I've been in the tech industry for more than a decade, working in companies like Nokia and Apple for many years as a software engineer. And I joined the Foundation Logic company a while back. I think it's almost 2 years now. The company itself is established more than 4 years, I believe. Like a lot of research and development has been done in the ASIC as well as the software side for our miner machines. In Foundation Logic, my title is the VP of Product, so I'm mostly involved in the product management and also like talk to a lot of people, attending a lot of shows. Pretty much on the technical side.
Love it. Payne to you.
Yeah, Payne here. So I'm on the other side, I'm on the business side. I'm the director of biz dev for Foundation Logic, which is the company behind AlphaPex. So I used to live similar to Ben, used to live in San Francisco. I've been living there for the past 10 years, finally had the courage to move to New York. But my background has always been quite diverse as well. I've been working at different tech companies in the Bay, just like kind of like all the other tech folks in the Bay. My first job was at Tesla. I was doing global supply chain there, and then I moved to another Chinese EV startup also in the Bay. And then kind of changed a little bit in terms of the track. I went to Postmates, started doing strategy. Eventually, we got acquired by Uber Eats. That's when I moved to TikTok. So I was at TikTok for the past 2.5 years, again doing strategy. And then eventually, when I left TikTok, I was overseeing the business development for our live stream business unit. So for me, coming to crypto has been quite recent. I've always been the reason behind it is I've always been an investor myself in crypto. Earlier days when Doge was going crazy, when GameStop was going crazy, I was there, or even a little bit before that. So I thought always thought it's a very bullish industry to be in. So this is a perfect opportunity for me to make the switch and really come in with my diverse background that's really helping with what we're doing now. Especially considering I still think it's a very infant industry, right? There's so many things we can do. There's so many opportunities, which makes it super exciting for me, right? Because I've always see myself as an entrepreneur in a sense. So I like to wear different hats. I like to, venture to different parts of the business and really kind of, help the entire ecosystem grow in a sense.
I love that you've named a few interesting companies there. So cool to see like the tech grind continue. Let's go through the Foundation Logic team and ElphaPex and what you guys are working on itself. Mostly it's this Litecoin Dogecoin miner, which we actually threw up a video on the Blockspace YouTube channel on the shorts a week ago. So I got to go check that out and see how it's doing. Cause I think, Payne, you and I talk in person and it was like, these videos always do so well, just like low clicks of ASICs. But let's hear about the ASIC that you guys are now selling kind of out on the market. Definitely have been seeing on a few YouTube channels as well. But I'll throw that one to Ben and then we'll get your thoughts on that as well, Payne.
Yeah, so we launched our first product, the DG1 Doge and Litecoin miner, I think in March this year. So later than that, we also getting our pro version of the original DG1 called the DG1 Plus, which has a higher hash rate. So the DG1 has 11 gig of hash rate, and the DG1 Plus, the pro model, has 14 gig of hash rate. And both models are like air cooling, and they have been selling pretty well. Yeah, I think the global mining community, they're pretty popular in the global mining community, and it's pretty well received so far.
I think like Ben foreshadowed earlier, we released our product this year, right? Pretty recently, kind of back to back. But the R&D work that went behind the scene really, went on for the past 3 to 4 years. So we want to make sure the product when we release it, they're high quality, they're reliable, right? So that's the company's not new. The company has been here, and a lot of work has been put into developing the miners. And Will, like you said, right? You've seen a lot of videos on YouTube. We work with a lot of the KOLs, the creators in the industry, like Hobbyist and a few other folks, Red Panda Mining, to really, one is to kind of get the words out there, and two is because how we kind of position ourselves in the market, right? We don't want to just work with a certain group of the miners, right? Like my goal is primarily to work with the key accounts, right? The bigger miners. But as a brand, we want to be everyone's mining partner, right? So it's not just the big folks in the space, but also, right, like we want to empower more of the smaller miners. Especially, Ben and I went to Empower earlier this year. And one of the key learnings we had is there's so many people, especially in Texas, who have, a few megawatts of power, who have a few acres of land, who wants to get into mining, but they don't really have the information or knowledge or the equipment to do so. So as a company, we want to be here to, work with the bigger guys, but also empower and work with the so-called retail miners, right, to help them get into the mining space, to provide them with easier access, right, to all this information and the hardware. Because eventually, to us, that helps, help all of us in this ecosystem to help advance it and make it more, easier to access, right, to everyone.
Why, as a company, are you guys focused on this Litecoin Dogecoin model where we have a slate of new Bitcoin miners coming out from Auradine to Block? I've even seen a few other ones recently that are soon to be announced. But how are you guys thinking about being in this one specific market with Litecoin Dogecoin? And I think we'd be remiss not to mention, of course, that the reason it's a Litecoin Dogecoin miner is because you're able to merge mine Dogecoin with Litecoin, and that's the whole impetus for that. So I will throw that question up to Ben, but I'm really curious to get your thoughts on that as well, Payne. Why this market? Why did you guys go through the slog of creating a new hardware device, which is probably one of the most competitive markets out there? And if we're being reasonable, it's very, very hard to make an ASIC. I'll throw it to you first, Ben, and I want to get your thoughts, Payne.
So I think at the first is that we are very interesting, and we think the Dogecoin is a very promising coin. because it's very popular among the younger generations, and also it's supported by many of the big guys in the world, right? Like Elon Musk is a firm supporter of the Dogecoin, and we also see the great potential of Dogecoin being actually used as a decentralized money to actually like buy something. People can actually use Dogecoin to buy something, right? Instead of just like holding it and not using it at all. So that's one, and the other is we feel the space in the Bitcoin mining is already very crowded. So as a startup, I think it would be better for us to like focus on the like something we are good at first, and then maybe think about something else later. So that is why we picked the script as our like the entry point in this space.
For sure. So I echo everything Ben said. And talking about Elon Musk, my old boss, I guess, at Tesla for about 3 years. I've actually been poking my old colleagues who still at Tesla, saying, "Hey, like, do you guys know if Tesla still has like a crypto department, right? Like, if so, love to reach out." So Elon, if you're listening to this, we'd love to have a little chat. If you're interested in Doge mining, we'd love to have a conversation there. I think that'll be interesting. But yeah, to Ben's point, I think for us, the reason, there are many different reasons why we picked this track. Is very strategic, right? So number one, the Bitcoin space obviously crowded, right? Very crowded. So for us, we believe in the future of Script. We believe in the future of Doge, right? With these bigger backers, with the upside, right? So if you look at, I'm more of a numbers guy myself as well. So if you look at the previous, price performance, if you compare the price trend of Dogecoin and Litecoin to Bitcoin, right? Especially if you look at post-halving performance, Bitcoin has always gone up, right, over time. But in the same duration, in the same amount of time, Litecoin and Dogecoin has always gone up a lot more compared to Bitcoin, right? So financially, from a numbers perspective, we know the potential is there. We know the potential has been there, and we believe in the future, potential of these two coins, right? Especially for Dogecoin, is really the people's coin, right? There's a strong cultural phenomenon behind it, and we believe, and more and more, coin applications, right? Like utilities of the coins are coming up, right? For example, you can pay buy certain things from Tesla. You can pay for membership or whatnot on X nowadays too. So we see a lot more potential coming, right, for these coins, and the fact that it is a merge mining algorithm, it offers more security to the network, and it also offers you kind of more. I see Litecoin as the money you earn, right, as the floor, and the Dogecoin as kind of the ceiling. It offers more upside, so you have a pretty good combination of the two worlds in a sense. So yeah, the reasons are quite diverse, and the reason why we kind of picked this year as the launching point, right, is also because of the halving. As we've seen after this halving, it's a little different, right? Because this halving, the previous three halvings, we hit all-time high in Bitcoin post halving, but this time we hit all-time high before the halving, and obviously now the Bitcoin hash price is suffering a little bit, right? So, and also, well, like you mentioned earlier, we want to be here to offer a fantastic alternative option to all the miners out there, to help people diversify, to help people de-risk and offer them the cash flow that's going to be there for a long time. So that's kind of answer your question earlier. That's why we picked this year to launch the product, and then we picked this very specific timing.
Yeah, I want to jump a little deeper into the situation with Litecoin, Dogecoin, because I think it's like an interesting story that a lot of miners don't think about. And it's like in crypto, we often have like these coins that go parabolic for just a minute, right? It's the speculative gambles. And there's often this conflation of like legitimate projects and speculative gambles. And I think Dogecoin, yes, there's going to be utility on it. Yes, there might be people like using it for whatever, and that would be the utility, like the payments that you kind of mentioned with Tesla. But like at the end of the day, it is a dog coin, and we're going to have fun with it. And it goes up every 4 years pretty regularly, like going back every single bull market. And miners are in a very good position to catch that if they have the infrastructure around. So kind of going back to what you were just saying there, Payne, there's like Litecoin is sort of like the base, and then Dogecoin's like the extra juice on that. that's how you guys are thinking about it? Like Litecoin is going to be like the base revenue for most miners running this thing, and then like every once in a while you kind of catch like an uptick with the price of Dogecoin and you just kind of make a lot of money on it. Is that kind of like the revenue play for this sort of ASIC? Is that how you speak to miners about it?
Yep. So there's so again, I'm a numbers guy, so I'm going to throw out a few numbers. So if you look at Dogecoin, for example, right, the third Bitcoin halving, within the calendar year following the third halving, I believe Bitcoin the price went 400 times, right, compared to before halving. During that same time span, Dogecoin went up by 20,000%. Right. So number one, the upside is definitely there. And then if you look at the kind of difference or how we see Litecoin and Dogecoin, Litecoin to begin with, it's a I guess you call it quote unquote improvement from Bitcoin, right? Lower transaction costs, all that kind of good stuff. So Litecoin is the largest, has the largest transaction volume, right, on BitPay, I believe nowadays. So by nature, it has different utilities and functions in that sense, right? So so mining Litecoin offers you that exposure, and nowadays if you look at the profitability share of script mining, Doge is a large chunk of it, right? So we don't need to wait for years and years for a bull market, right? Sometimes a tweet or some movement from Elon or some news can really launch Doge into a bull market. So it's very easy for miners and investors to take advantage of those moments, right? And then I guess one last point I want to add there is with a lot of the pool partners we have, right? For example, Luxor, for example, NiceHash, we work with them, and the primary reason is they offer payouts in Bitcoin as well, right? So the one concept I've been preaching personally is, why be a Bitcoin maxi when you can be a revenue maxi, right? Because we're in this game called mining for a reason. It's to make a buck, right? I think at the end of the day, it's a lot of it's profitability driven. So, as a script miner, we offer the profitability, right? And if you have any sort of Bitcoin holding strategy, you can always choose to get paid in Bitcoin on a daily basis and do whatever the same strategy you have. So what we're offering to make your rack space more dense, right? By having this miner that offers you higher profitability, and you're making more Bitcoin using our machine mining Dogecoin, Litecoin, than using an actual Bitcoin machine, right? So that's really what it is at its essence. Those are that's kind of how I see this, right? Eventually we're still contributing to the Bitcoin network. We're still contributing to the proof of work consensus algorithm.
Gotcha. And I don't mean to catch you cold-footed here or flat-footed here, but any numbers off the top of your head about like sort of profitability between those two things, where it's like if you're mining, say, Litecoin, Dogecoin, and like going to do something like NiceHash, how much more Bitcoin you could earn? Again, I didn't ask for the numbers beforehand, so I don't want to catch you flat-footed. But I am curious if you have anything off the top of your head or like historic numbers you've kind of seen or trends.
For sure. No, I definitely, we definitely came prepared. So according to the NiceHash calculator, right? So if you're comparing a pretty common Bitcoin miner model, which is S19j Pro, you're making about $2, just a little bit above $2 a day, right, in terms of revenue. And if you're looking at DG1+, which is our latest model, you're making about $27 per day. So the difference is pretty massive there, right? So I think daily cash flow is also different from your return on investment timeline, right? How fast do you break even? So in terms of ROI, if you're looking at DG1 or DG1+, at the current price, you're breaking even in about 7 to 8 months, right? But if you're comparing that to S19j Pro or S21, you're looking at anywhere between 25 to 30 months. So the gap there is also quite large. So having higher daily revenue, profitability, better cash flow, shorter break-even time, I think what that allows you to do is to continue to reinvest into your operation, right? And provide you with enough cash flow so you can cover your energy costs, so you can, do all these other things. So from a numbers perspective, to me, it makes all the sense in the world.
In the competitive world of Bitcoin mining, one name stands out: CleanSpark, America's Bitcoin miner. At CleanSpark, efficiency isn't just a goal, it's our standard. Our sophisticated facilities are built and led by expert teams who care about Bitcoin and the communities we work in. Scale, We've mastered it. Our large-scale operations have set us apart in the industry as examples of community-oriented building. Our track record speaks for itself. We navigate the complexities of the new economy with precision and with skill, continuously achieving operational milestones. Curious about how we do it? We invite you to discover the story behind CleanSpark's success at CleanSpark.com.
Ben, I want to give you the opportunity to jump in there and add some thoughts, but really quick, the one thing I want to point out is actually a trend that we've been talking about on the mining pod for quite a while. It's summer now, and we're going to see the increase in miners using the energy credits as a scheme to generate excess revenue. They're not going to be mining Bitcoin, right? They're going to be turning off, and they're going to be earning revenue that way. And I think that kind of folds into your point, Payne, about like in mining, it's about maximizing revenue with whatever you have, right? Like, yes, you want to protect the Bitcoin network. Yes, you want to be a participant in it, but you also need to be revenue maximizing. And so that's where something like this does come in. I am interested in seeing like what Bitcoin maximalists and those kind of folks think about this. And it's probably like an off topic because we're more focused on like the ASIC and the culture, or ASICs and energy here on the show. But it is something just to kind of bring up really quickly. That's like, there are a crossover between Bitcoin maximalists and miners. And sometimes you can see that in operations where some miners only run Bitcoin miners, and then other operations, you know, they'll do a lot of stuff just to maximize revenue. And I think that's typically the miners that do a little better because they're willing to kind of play in different sandboxes, if you will. Ben, I will throw it to you just to add on to anything that Payne is saying, and then I want to jump over to a few other questions.
Yeah, so great point that Payne just said. I just want to add that because the script POW network is still small compared to the BTC network. So like the script miners will have a longer, income earning life compared to the BTC miners, because you can maybe like make the miners, script miners will be more profitable for longer period of time, right, compared to the Bitcoin miners. So that means like after you have the ROI period, you will have like longer period of time to earn extra income.
Well, I want to quickly jump in here. I think you brought up a really, really good point, right? Because a lot of the miners we work with are based in Texas. So granted, our machine handles a very wide range of temperature, right? Understand that the energy costs, we cannot control because of the temperature. So curtailment, I think one of the requests coming from one of our potential partners is the ability for the miner to quickly ramp down and ramp up, right? When the energy cost is high, they want to have so we have this mode called idle mode or sleeping mode, so that allows our miner to quickly ramp down if you don't want to mine, right? But also want to keep the miner active, and then when the energy cost becomes low, then you can quickly ramp back up again. So in that sense, we talk. So I think about the strategies that the miners have, right? Because if you're mining Bitcoin, your break-even energy cost is probably quite low because the hash price right now. So that forces you to have to curtail or ramp down, ramp up. For script mining though, because the break-even price is quite high, right? Like even if you have 10 cents per kilowatt hour energy cost, you can definitely still be profitable mining script, right? So I think in that sense, working with a lot of the miners in Texas, that gives them the freedom or the flexibility to keep up their uptime, right? Instead of having to, think about curtailment or do adjustments manually and frequently in that sense to kind of ramp down the miner. So I think that's another benefit that it can potentially offer from an operational perspective.
Yeah, I love that. Really quick, before we move on to another subject, where's like a good resource for miners to like plug in numbers, like hard numbers? What sort of like calculators do you guys use?
Yeah, we have our in-house calculator that we're happy to share or present or have a version out for the public. And so it's a help from we've got help from our partner Bloxbridge, and they make these very nice calculators. But one website that I personally use, that I started using when I first came to the industry, is Mine the ASIC. I think they have a lot of the numbers there already, and just plug in your energy cost, and it spits out the profitability numbers. So I think that's a pretty good tool to use.
Okay, we'll include that in the show notes if anyone's interested in kind of playing around and seeing what the numbers look like if they were to install a rack or so.
Let's talk about how you guys are thinking this fits into a fleet. And then I do want to move over and start talking about like the hardware side of this and the story of being a startup. I really like emphasizing that because the hardware stories are really hard. And you guys have kind of taken this on against a giant with Bitmain having their own Litecoin Dogecoin miner as well. But let's go to the more practical part of this before we go over to the startup story. So Payne or Ben, whoever is better equipped to answer this question, how does this fit into a mining fleet? What does the chassis of the machine look like, the form factor of the machine? Does it work with standard containers out there? What kind of cords do you need to plug in? What sort of like software we're using? Does it work with something like a Foreman? Does it work with most sort of mining pools? Some of those like simple answers to get people off the ground running and mining.
We have been working with Foreman to have our miners integrated within their system. So now Foreman, if the client is using Foreman software, they can easily manage our miners along with all other manufacturers' models. So for us, the physical form factor is similar to like the major miners like S19 and S21. So they are made to be as compatible to the rack space as possible. And as for the power cords, and they are pretty industrial standard. Like we use a C19 cords for DG1 Plus, and we use C13 cords, power cords for this DG1. They are pretty standard equipment, nothing special, easy to purchase. So as for the power-wise, they're also very similar to all the Bitcoin miners out there. So like it's a very easy swap and install type of thing. So yeah.
Yeah, no, I think that's kind of the goal that we have, right? As kind of the approach we had is to make it as seamless and easy as possible for people who already have their operation set up, who have their racking, who have their container, to easily just plug in and play, right? We don't want to make anything special that you have to get somewhere else. So that's definitely a goal. Again, kind of fits into the narrative of making it easily accessible for everyone in the industry, and for maybe a little foreshadow for our future product as well, right? In different, the spaces, we'll make it as, easily compatible as possible to all the existing equipment out there.
Nice. And what about the repair and manufacturing side? I think I kind of grilled you on person about this, Payne, when I saw you in Austin. I was like, how do you guys do repairs? Because that's been a really big headache for a lot of miners who have purchased from smaller providers out there. They've been like, okay, where do I get a repair? Because things break. That's just the hardware market. My MacBook is 4 years old and it's not doing as hot as it once was. So like you can buy a Premier product and there's going to be issues. What sort of repairs or aftermarket products do you guys provide? And how does it integrate into something that another miner might have on the shelf already so they can just sort of like fix it and keep going? But I'll throw it over to you, Payne, for that.
Yeah. So Ben can talk a bit more about our repair capability in North America. It's strong, it's growing, and we'll hope to grow it further as we have a bigger presentation in the market. So I kind of want to break it down in two perspectives. So number one, we have a partner farm right in Canada near Montreal, where we've been testing about 250 units of our DG1 there for the past I think 7 to 8 months now. Again, right, we use those miners as for testing, for iteration purposes, for continuous improvement. And during this 7 to 8 months, we've seen very, very low issue rate, right? I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, Ben, but I think we saw one miner with a fan issue and then the other miner with a PSU issue. Obviously, neither one of them is major. It's nothing about the hash war or nothing you need to send to somewhere to repair. Simply replace the parts, right? So that's very good that we saw, and we want to make sure that the product we release are reliable right through these testing phase. So that's number one. Number two, again, I'll leave it to Ben to talk about repair services. But we have warehouses in North America as well, and so we'll make sure that we'll have spare parts readily available in the North American market for people to order, for people to be able to replace the fans, the PSUs, or the for example, the auto shell, right? Like themselves easily on their farm, right? So we want to make that very easily accessible as well from logistics perspectives.
Yeah, so I'll add to that at the beginning, during the design and manufacturing processes, we utilize very high grade industrial components, so that the materials and the workmanship in the machine, we'll make sure it will run for the long term. For after sales support, we have set up a local technical support center in North America, namely near the Montreal area. So we have a team of very experienced support specialists that have been in the mining industry for a long time to answer any technical or setup issues when using the miners, or even help setting up the farm. So other than that, we have a repair facility in the Dallas, Texas region, so that any issues it can be fixed within the North America. So to provide the timely support in the same region. And also as as Pan said, the spare parts and the components are all available locally in the U.S. warehouse, so they can also make sure whenever any machine needs any extra spare parts, it can be delivered in a timely manner. And we are actively expanding our technical support and service capacity in North America, so to help with any future repair needs.
Well, sorry, quickly add on to that, I think the philosophy we have there, again, right, as a new manufacturer that's new to the scene, we want to be able to bridge some of the gaps that we've seen in the industry, especially when it comes to repair services, when it comes to after sales support, when it comes to offering channels of communication with the team directly here. So those are the areas we want to kind of focus on and help the industry improve. Right, we want to be able to go above and beyond in those areas where we can kind of maybe set the standards, right, moving forward. So again, more competition, I think the better it is for the whole ecosystem. Eventually, better for the end consumers, right? So I think it needs someone to come into the scene and really kind of help set a standard, and that's our goal, right? We want to be the best when it comes to that. We want to be the standard setter when it comes to those areas.
Need ASIC help? Check out Vitamine, one of Bitmain's certified repair shops located in Washington State with satellite offices in Colorado, Oklahoma, and Texas. PSUs, hashboards, immersion setups, in and out of warranty repair, Vitamine has you covered. Want to train your technicians? Bring Vitamine to your site for hands-on training in the art of ASIC repair, complete with Bitmain AMTC certification. Contact Vitamine today at dan@vmasic.com. Again, that's dan@vmasic.com. When you think of ASIC repair, think Vitamine.
Let's finish up talking about startup game for hardware. So it's actually kind of good timing because we've had a few different companies who've been more on the bleeding edge, focus on maybe alternate markets in ASICs or doing something completely different like you guys. And so it kind of fits into a few shows that we're going to be putting out over the month of June and into July. Tell me a little bit about working at a hardware startup. How did you guys get access to foundries? Are you guys more of a fabless production unit, or do you guys build stuff and then work directly with the foundry? How do you guys think about the form factor, assembling different parts in there? And then a little bit later, I'll ask a few questions about competing with the bigger guys like Bitmain. But Ben, I'll throw it to you first for that, but feel free to toss it down to Payne if need be. Tell me a little bit about how you guys are working as a hardware startup.
Yeah, so we have a team of very experienced ASIC design engineers that have been a lot of experience from many of the who used to work in very large ASIC related companies in the tech industry before, and they were very experienced, and we have set up the team working together for much longer years than me, basically. Yeah, they have been in the industry for a long time, and they have put a lot of effort in this R&D, and We also working with like the latest foundry technology. So we get support from the foundry side with advanced technology so that we can achieve very high energy efficiency. But as you said, we are pretty much working as a fabless design now. And then once we have the design, we will send to the foundry to help us manufacture. And I believe that is pretty much all like the companies in this space are working at the similar working model.
Gotcha. Can you guys reveal what foundry you guys use, or is that under lock and key?
Yeah, we are using the Samsung foundry, and we're using their very advanced like manufacturing processes. Yeah.
Just quickly chime in here. I think so. Like Ben mentioned, right? We have a very good relationship with Samsung, right? In terms of getting the supply of the wafers. So from a business perspective, right? For us, we want to be able to help our clients to, let us say, corner part of the market, and obviously that requires a lot of resources and pre-planning. But because the relationship we have with Samsung, for us, right? Like it doesn't matter what your goal is. Our goal is here to help you achieve your goal as a miner. So as long as we have enough time for a heads up, we'll be able to provide the hardware that you're looking for as a miner.
Love it. Do you guys have any thoughts on like the Samsung part of things? I am interested in that because like it does seem that Bitmain kind of has like its thing with TSMC, and then everyone else kind of goes to Samsung. There just seems to be like the relationship there is like TSMC only has so much allocation. But any thoughts on like the relationship with Samsung? Seems to be like a good relationship. Like what are some of the other teams that are working there, if you know of them, and like how do you guys kind of think about like getting your allocations in there per year for making an ASIC like this?
Yeah, I don't really have the exact numbers to share at this moment. I mean, we really have a good relationship with the guys in Samsung, and that is why we can get the production capacities for their advanced manufacturing processes, like for us, even as a startup, right? So I think from what we have been talking to Samsung, they also committed long-term support for us. So moving forward, I'm very optimistic about our capacity as well as the support from the most advanced technology side from Samsung Foundry.
And then if any of the listeners have went to Blockchain Live in Dubai, you probably saw that we have a video on repeat playing there. It's Charles from Samsung, so he's the SVP for Greater China business, right? Basically, vouching for the relationship for this partnership moving forward, right? And again, Mining Disrupt, we're going to be playing something similar, right? So just to kind of showcase the relationship we have with Samsung. So if you're going to be a Mining Disrupt, swing by and take a look at the videos.
Awesome. Okay, let's finish up talking about Bitmain a little bit. So Bitmain definitely is like kind of pushing their Litecoin Dogecoin miner as well. They've had one for a while, and you guys are kind of going like up against them, and probably a few other miners out there as well, sort of in this subsector of the industry. How do you guys think about competing against like someone who's larger? I asked the same question to the Bitcoin miners who are trying to grapple with Bitmain as well. So it's not a question that's like a lot of people aren't trying to figure out. Your as a sector is just like a little bit smaller. It's a subsector of cryptocurrency mining. So when you guys are competing with Bitmain or maybe another provider out there, how do you guys kind of think about like how to be scrappy, how to be mobile, how to like do this from a business strategy standpoint? Payne, I know you and I talked in Austin about this a little bit. You've got guys that really focus on like the repair side of things and trying to make sure like the unit continues to have like really strong performance over time. So I'm assuming that's gonna be part of the answer, but I'm definitely interested in like some other thoughts too. Is like, what do you guys kind of do to like keep that edge against the giant in the room? Payne, I'll throw it to you first, but definitely interested in Ben's thoughts.
Mm-hmm. For sure. I think that's a great question, Will. I think that's a very frequently asked question as well. First of all, I think I want to preface this with by saying that we definitely appreciate what some of these other bigger guys or the manufacturers have done for industry, right? I think without them, we probably wouldn't be here today, right? It's just having such a thriving market and having so many people being interested in mining. Definitely, we acknowledge and appreciate the work that they have done for us as a whole, as an ecosystem. When you're talking about competing with some of the other manufacturers, I think first of all, we'd love to just to say that, again, the more options that we have, the more competition we have in the industry, especially when it comes to hardware. Eventually, it will benefit the end users, right, which are the consumers. I think that's all we want to see. I talked to a lot of the KOLs in the industry or the miners. For them, I think their first reaction has always been, oh, wow, there's another option I can choose. That's amazing, right? You don't have to just rely on or just work with, the selected few manufacturers. So I think having more friendly competition in the space is better for everyone. It helps us to improve our product. It helps the other manufacturer improve their product. It helps the miners have better product to use. So I think that's point number one. Point number two is, obviously we're very, very confident. I'm personally very confident in the quality of our product, and the longevity of our product, and the longevity and the resource that we have as a company. So we, invest the majority of our revenue back into R&D, right? Because we have a long-term commitment in, again, having the best product in the script space and having more product in different in different verticals as well. So we really value the amount of resources we pour into, I guess, reinvest into R&D, right? So I guess a way of saying that we'll be here for the long haul. We're here to really provide good hardware and equipment. And in terms of the specs and everything, I believe everyone already knows what Bitmain announced for L9. And I think the one thing that we're not super sure about is really what's going to be the price point, right? Again, I think in this game, it really is about again, as a business, right? It's about making the numbers make sense. So if we're comparing return investment timeline or the break even point, what that is for L9 versus our product, I'm not sure, right? I know as much as you guys do. So I think that's a thing to take a look at, right? Once we have more information on the pricing. But in terms of in terms of the quality of our product, right, we're super confident. So again, I think at the end of the day, it's about making the numbers make sense. It's about making it work for the business.
Let's hear just last final thoughts for closing out. What are some things you'd like to articulate to Bitcoin miners, potential customers, anyone else out there as we close up, or maybe even to skeptics who are like, hey, I just want to mine Bitcoin? I will throw it first to Ben, and then we'll let Payne close out.
Yeah, so I think we start as everyone's mining partner. So we are very humble, and we want to be very friendly. We want to be close friends to our mining partners. So that is why we come in humble, and we want to provide the best service in the sector. So that is what we are aiming for, to help everyone to mine, so that the proof of work network will be more healthier, and also contribute to the future of this decentralized currency, right? And hopefully one day we can use some of this decentralized cryptocurrency as the real money. Right? So we want to be part of it and want to support the whole ecosystem, not just the hardware, but also the software, the community, the developers, and ultimately everyone.
Yeah, for sure. Good points, Ben. I think for us, again, right, I think we talk a bit more about the more granular stuff about the product, about the company. But for me, when I look at mining as a whole, I think we're at a really good time, right? We're all hoping for the next bull cycle to come. We're hoping for the bull cycle to stick around a little bit longer. And even looking at something bigger, right? Looking at the politics, for example, I don't normally talk about politics too much, but it seems like is becoming, Bitcoin or doing funding through crypto is becoming, a bit more prevalent, right? And sounds like, doesn't matter who gets elected, we should or slash will have good policies to support this upcoming and booming industry, right? So that's the hope. So I think overall, it is a good time. We have strong momentum. We want to keep the strong momentum going, and we want to contribute kind of from our end. And then, to kind of answer your question earlier, right? Like again, I think we're here to offer a very good alternative solution to offer a diversification opportunity, and we want to make it as easy, as seamless as possible. Right? It doesn't matter if you just want to focus on Bitcoin, or if you're willing to venture out into something else, but that's also very reliable, that's been there for years, right? Instead of maybe investing in AI, right, which is more costly and more unknown in a sense. So we're still in the proof of work realm. We're still offering some, the coins that's been out there for many years, and we all know kind of what's going on with the coins, right? So I think that's kind of how I see this and how we position ourselves. And then I guess just to add on a little bit about Mining Disrupt, little preview of Mining Disrupt. We're going to be the biggest sponsor there, so we're super excited. We did Blockchain Live in Dubai, so this one for us really kicks off in North America, right? Which is obviously what we want to focus on. So we're super excited. We're going to have a really big booth. We're going to have a few different sections. You can come and see our miners run. You can see kind of how we will provide our repair services. We'll take apart a few miners. You can see the inside, and we'll also have a little section for content creation, right? So if you're a content creator, feel free to come sit around, take some videos. We can do some interviews. So it'll be super cool. We'll provide a whole kind of end-to-end experience, and we'll definitely look forward to seeing everyone there. And Will, I heard you're gonna MC there this year as well, right? How do you? Sorry, I'm interviewing you a little bit here. How do you see Mining Disrupt? What are you expecting? Tell us a bit more.
Yeah, so I'll be at Mining Disrupt, emceeing for 2 days, like off and on. Like Dennis and I think some other people are also going to be emceeing. I'm looking forward to it. It's nice to get all the miners in one room. Consensus, not really many Bitcoin miners. A few people popped in because it was in Austin. Bitcoin, Miami, now Nashville. I think a decent amount of miners attend, but it's more for the party scene. Mining Disrupt does seem to be like where a lot of business is done. And handshakes are done. So I'm looking forward to that. It just being around those people who are actually doing deals and also seeing new hardware, because it's fun to see the hardware in person. Oftentimes you go to a Bitcoin mine and like you see a lot of the same stuff just because like that's where the size is. And it's cool to go to Mining Disrupt and see like where the bleeding edge stuff is or where the new stuff is happening. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it as well. Definitely happy to give a plug right now for them. Go buy a ticket. I think just minedisrupt.com. I don't even know off the top of my head, but like go there and get a ticket. Thank you both for joining the Mining Pod. Appreciate your time. We'll see you down there. It's going to be hard to miss you at Disrupt with your big booth. So everyone go check them out. Say hi to Ben and Payne. And then if you want to talk to them, feel free to shoot them a DM. Do you guys have Twitter handles you can give out?
Yep. So Twitter, I'm on Twitter as Payne Cong. So PayneTheCong. Find me on LinkedIn. I'm pretty active there too. Just Payne Cong. Yeah, looking forward to connecting with you guys.
Yeah, same as well. Yeah, we also have like our official ElphaPex Twitter as well as a LinkedIn handler. So you can find us there for any connection. Cool.
And well, if I may, just want to add one more thing. I think I told you this in person when I first came into the industry. I pretty much know nothing about mining, right? But I'm a quick learner, so I've been listening to a lot of different things, watching YouTube. For example, Red Panda Mining or Hobbyist Miner, they're kind of my first go-to to look at miner reviews, whatever. But really, what I learned the most was from listening to your podcast. I think you've done an amazing job, including different players from the industry, from different perspectives. I learned so much through your episodes, and I'm a daily listener. So really, just want to say thank you and appreciate the work you do for this ecosystem. I really appreciate it.
Thanks, Payne. I appreciate that. Yeah, no, I love getting conversations like you guys on the show because it's like a different sector, but it matters so much for Bitcoin mining. And so yeah, that's the goal. Is to like kind of help people grow their operations. So appreciate that. Hey, we'll see you guys down in Miami. We'll have some fun there. Thanks again. Thanks, Ben. Thanks, Payne.
Thanks, Will. Appreciate you.